you had your Earth Blend coffee today? At Earth Blend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earth Blend Coffee.
To order, visit earthblendcoffee.co now.
Welcome to the Adventurous Podcast. I'm your host, Deidre Perry, and these are my co-hosts. And weekly, we will be coming to you to bring you the latest information in the world of agriculture. We invite you to join us every Saturday from 10 to 10:30. Join us. Come on, take an adventure.
Socrates, Garrett live every Tuesday on WeBelieveDigital.com. Socrates talks politics, finances, and social issues that affect the Black community and so much more. Phenomenal guests and engaging conversation. Straight talk, no nonsense topics that are informative, educational, and inspiring. Socrates goes live with politicians, church leaders, business owners, and others. The time is now. Talking to you about us. Socrates Garrett live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. on WeBelieveDigital.com.
Welcome back to Socrates Garrett Live. It's good to be back in the studio on Tuesday evening, talking about the things that matter most to people in our communities and individuals that don't have a voice. We try and give them the opportunity to be heard through this medium. You know, WeBelieveDigital.com is the website that we have. It's our platform. It's very similar to Netflix and Hulu, and we're doing some wonderful things here in the studio with an absolutely very capable broadcast studio. We have production capabilities, we're doing films, we're doing commercials, and we have a lot of great shows on WeBelieveDigital.com. Check that out, view the channels, follow us every evening. There's plenty information there for you to get on WeBelieveDigital.com. Now, we're being heard on Facebook, on our own platform that I mentioned. We're also on YouTube, Roku TV, Apple TV, Amazon. We are all over the world. This broadcast is being heard and seen all over the world. And so it's important that we get information out that's relative, that's factual, and it's information that people can use. We have a lot of trouble in the country today. You know, it's just not trouble in one part of the country, not just in the Deep South, but it's trouble throughout the entire country. But because we're located in Jackson, Mississippi, we tend to focus on issues that arise out of Jackson, Mississippi, or issues that are being discussed by people in Mississippi. And today I have with me a guest that has been a host on his own show on WeBelieveDigital.com, and today he is my guest, and I'm looking forward to him being a co-host with me here on this show. Because, you know, the issues of race and those things that affect blacks and whites are not talked about. And you can't have good, open, honest dialogue about very sensitive things. And so I'm hoping that we're going to be able to improve the format. I'd like to have a very, very staunch conservative person on this show so that we can talk about why they feel and act and do things the way they do. You know, Barack Obama said that, you know, I have to have the ability to see things through your eyes. That's critically important. Because if I can see things through your eyes, then maybe I'll have some insight on what makes you act the way you do. So tonight we're going to have a fun time. We're going to have a real great time with my guest, Attorney Brent Hazzard. Welcome, Brent.
Welcome, Socrates. Did you just call me a conservative?
I did not call you one, but I think you could qualify for that.
Oh, I'm just saying, we're already in the stereotyping and we're 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
just
well,
making
well,
sure.
The deal is this, Brent.
Okay.
You have a perspective coming from your background and your beginnings, and I want to say your white privilege that you enjoy.
Well, we've already discussed this.
I don't know, but we need to discuss it.
No, we've already discussed this.
Well, we can discuss it.
It wasn't white privilege.
What is it then?
Hazard privilege. Don't be. I've already told you. I came from money. We had a pilot and a plane. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So
well, I thought you came from the Mississippi Delta.
Money.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Are you saying there wasn't money in the Delta?
Well, I don't know. It's probably the poorest region in the country, not in the world.
2021, it was, but I was born in 72.
Okay.
Raised in the 80s.
Okay.
I mean, it was no Madison County in the 70s. Did y'all have roads in Madison County in the 70s?
We had a few gravel roads, you know, if you knew the supervisor.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Right.
If you knew a supervisor, you knew where to steal some dirt. That's how Garrett construction started, is what I heard. Was that true?
No, that wasn't true.
No. Nothing ever fell off a truck.
No.
Was Socrates Garrett?
No,
surplus?
We did it the hard way.
Oh, the hard way.
Well, yeah,
okay.
You know, we pulled ourselves up by our own bootstraps, as you would say.
I noticed, I don't wear boots. I'm 6'6". I'll hit doorways. I noticed you have started dressing. You look very nice today.
Well, thank you.
Was that all stolen Hines County money that bought that suit? Or was that?
No, hard work.
Hard work.
You know, up at 6 a.m. in the mornings and at bed at 10, 11.
You sleeping that late?
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm just wondering. I mean, in Greenville, 6 a.m. is a week here.
Okay.
I'm just asking.
Okay.
Well, go ahead, sir.
Well, let me ask you
how have you been doing, Socrates?
I've been doing good. It's good to have you here.
I hear you've got a big contract demolishing homes around the area.
We're very fortunate. We've been contracted by several agencies to demolish over 100 houses, and I think we got about 14 left out of that category to still get done. So I've been real busy.
Okay, and look, I hate to give you credit as much as you know I do, but you've got the studio going, and if anybody wants to appear on this fantastic studio, how do they call you?
Well, I'll tell you, they call me at 601-209-9199. And you can also see us on Facebook and on WeBelieveDigital.com. So I'm very easy to get in contact with, and the number will also be strolling on the screen as the show continues. So we're easy to get in touch with.
And please call so he can get some entertaining content. Because, I mean, look, I watch your show every night when I have insomnia real bad. I turn it on and puts me straight to sleep. So he has the production studio.
Because you don't want to hear. You don't want to hear the information that's coming your way, the flow that's coming your way, the truth and the facts about the matter, about what's going on in our great state and across the country.
I thought you were talking about your show. Because your show is the Socrates Garrett is Great show for 60 minutes. I mean, I hear that.
That's part of it.
I'm just saying.
That's part
it's
of
a
it.
Socrates Garrett hit for. But do you have another show that's informative?
No, it's live and great.
Okay, I'm just saying. If you have another show that has all that in it, I've been watching the wrong show.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Well, let's get right to it. So in Mississippi, the legislature, the Supreme Court, just overturned the marijuana bill that the citizens of Mississippi overwhelmingly said that they wanted to have passed, to have medical marijuana available to them. What makes white folk?
Wow!
Well,
Wow! We went straight there.
I mean, you know better than I do.
Because we all know each other. We all hang out at the meetings.
Yeah, you do.
But I don't know them all because we all have hoods on. I can't recognize each other.
I'm talking about when you take the hoods off.
Okay. When we go celebrate.
What would make the Supreme Court overturn that and restrict the citizens of Mississippi of having the benefit of medical marijuana when everybody is touting the advantages and the benefits of that product? Help me understand that.
Since I'm speaking for the white nation.
Well, I mean, you're not here to speak for a Muslim, you know.
I'm just saying, just because I haven't shaved head doesn't mean I'm AB.
Okay.
So you don't know what that is.
Not yet.
And we're getting away from that because I don't want anybody from the Brotherhood looking me up. But with that said, no, I mean, what it comes down to is economics. You know that. The reality is, one, what we're talking about is Initiative 65.
Right.
Now, depending on who you talk to, first of all, they made it, the powers that be made it as complicated as they could to get it passed. Because you had to vote yes or no on A, and then, B, you had to say yes or no. And they were doing that to make it as complicated as they can. One, you had several factors. Big Pharma didn't want it. Big Pharma doesn't want Xanax, Big Pharmacy, pharmaceuticals. They didn't want Xanax to disappear from the housewives. They didn't want, give me another one. These.
I don't take depression drugs. I
don't either.
Oh, okay.
I might take one after this show, but But what I'm saying, they didn't want the prescription happy pills to disappear. But I mean, a lot of that would qualify for medical marijuana. The depression, the stress. They wanted the opioids to stay. It's profitable. You can't patent weed. You can't. You can't.
So are you telling me the economics? It's the lack of economics in our state that's keeping us at the bottom on everything. So here we have an opportunity to have an industry here that could possibly lift us up, and the Supreme Court overturns it, and now you're telling me that Big Pharmacy doesn't want it, and so they don't want it, and we remain on the bottom on everything?
I mean, do you realize we have dry counties in Mississippi still, right?
No, I didn't know that.
Okay, you do realize the majority of religion...
We never had dry counties, Brent, as far as I can recall.
Legally speaking.
Oh, legally speaking.
Rankin County. Is not Rankin County not still a dry county?
No, they passed. They got beer and wine and everything.
Flowood in certain areas has it, but has the whole county become wet?
Well, I don't know, because I don't go far deep in Rankin County.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
But my understanding, there's special areas where they can serve. But I don't know if the whole county has passed it. And what I'm saying is you add in Big Pharma.
Okay.
You add in the legislature where it's completely out of, the municipalities were completely out of regulating it because they didn't get behind it. Then you add in the Baptists don't believe in drinking, which I was raised Baptist.
When did the Baptists not believe in drinking?
Baptists never drink. You sound like me in 9th grade. I went to a party one time raised by a lot of functional alcoholics. And, in my family, you didn't have a drinking problem as long as you got up at 6 and got to work. Whether you did pills for the back or the drinking, it didn't matter. That's not a problem until money and food start hitting the table. But everybody in the Delta has somebody who has an addiction issue. With that established, Baptists don't drink. But I went somewhere, and they said, well, I'm not going to the wedding because it's a Baptist wedding. There won't be any alcohol. I've been talking too long because you haven't been able to speak in 30 seconds.
I
was shocked to learn that Baptists didn't drink. And they said, no, Baptists didn't drink. Baptists don't drink. They're the ones who kept Rankin County dry.
I don't know any religion that does not drink. I was enjoying a glass of wine, and Sister Teresa walked in on me, and I said, Sister, I'm very apologetic that I have this wine when in your presence. And she said, young man, that was the first miracle.
Well, the Catholic Church,
yeah.
They drink,
That's the first miracle is when Jesus turned the water to wine.
But no, sincerely, Baptists don't drink. Supposed to. Now, they drink at home.
This white Baptist you're talking about? What are you talking about? Baptists
I didn't
don't drink.
create John the Baptist. I'm telling you, traditionally, Baptists do not drink. I am telling you, that is not a new thing here.
Well, we're going to have someone come on this show to help clarify this. Because,
this magical box you can Google.
I've never heard that Baptists did not drink.
Are you Baptist?
No.
You've ever met a Baptist?
I'm non-denominational. No, because my parents didn't believe that we ought to be singing and dancing and have drums and tambourines and stuff in church.
Okay.
So we didn't do that. The Baptists had too much fun. Now, they had too much fun in church, and they certainly were the life of the party after church.
Well, this magical thing called Google, first thing I said is Baptists do drink. Well, just read that to me, Socrates. Reading will not hurt you, folks.
Baptists have long believed that drinking alcohol is not only unhealthy and morally lax, but is in direct opposition to what God wants. Wow.
It's called Google.
Wow.
It's been around for about 15 years.
Well,
Probably haven't got to you yet.
Not yet.
But it will.
Not yet.
We Believe Studio, where Google is a brand new invention.
Wow, Brent, I tell you, I learn something every time you come around.
So,
man.
Sincerely, first of all, lesson number 2, we're going to count them, okay?
Go ahead.
Google, good invention, 1. 2, all white people don't know each other. Shock. 3, wasn't white privilege for the redneck radio. Whoa. I'm on a roll, man. This one your show sucks. You interrupt the roll.
Go ahead.
I'm on a roll, man.
Go ahead, Brent.
I gave you props for this outfit. Okay. You went Johnny Carson on me.
I look good, don't I?
You do look good. I ain't gonna lie. I can say that in a homosexual way. I give a man credit. 3, it ain't white privilege, Hazzard privilege. Get it straight.
All white folk have their own privilege.
They didn't have our privilege.
Okay. Hey. Are you trying to insinuate that there's another class of white people underneath where you came from?
I'm trying to insinuate that if you grew up like I grew up, everybody would believe what you were. We were told very quickly we a different breed of folks, okay? We will be the first one there, last one to leave because we enjoy the benefits.
Wow.
Now, my family fortunately got taken away from me when the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan. And unlike all these wannabe conservatives...
What happened to your wealth now?
Do you know anything about the state you live in?
No, enlighten me.
The Delta was the affluent place in Mississippi.
Oh, the Delta Council made all the decisions, ran the legislation, kept Mississippi poor.
Hottie Carter, was he a liberal? When he was working with Jimmy Carter, was he?
Well, I think he was a pretty good guy.
DDT. Let me say this. We're talking about progressive in Mississippi, we're not talking about California.
Let me interrupt.
Go ahead.
We're going to have to go to a commercial break here just very shortly. This show is being brought to you by Earth Blend Coffee. Support Earth Blend Coffee. You'll enjoy it every day. Stay tuned.
Have you had your Earth Blend coffee today? At Earth Blend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earth Blend Coffee.
To order, visit earthblendcoffee.co now.
Welcome back to the show. Brent, we're going to get right back in and we're going to shift gears a little bit. We're going to let the marijuana thing rest for a moment. But
we didn't finish any of that.
Yeah.
You don't want to finish any of this?
No.
You were asking what happened to the Delta? You cut me off?
No, well, we'll get back to it.
Okay.
But we got a lot to cover. So the deal is this, Brent. Mississippi is opting out of the unemployment benefits for its citizens.
Okay.
Why in the world, Brent, would our leadership my great Caucasian friends and brothers come to a conclusion that the poorest state in the nation can opt out of unemployment benefits for its citizens, Brent. How can anybody come to that conclusion?
Because there's a shortage of workers. Employers are having. Well, let me ask you this: you employ how many?
65 people today.
Have you had a lot of turnover?
No, because we have great pay and good benefits, and the environment is one that people enjoy.
I believe the first two, but as long as you're the boss, I'm not going to buy the environment. But with that said, see,
I have people that have been with me 40 years, Brent.
Some people enjoy abusive relationships. I've been in a few.
Okay. Well, explain to me why we turn down the unemployment tax.
Because the theory behind, and once again, I'm not defending every white person decision here.
You're here tonight, and I want you to enlighten me. You my guest.
Oh my
you my
goodness.
brother. You
I
see
didn't make you defend every black decision.
Well, I don't want you to defend every white, but I want you to enlighten me.
You sit there, white brother, Caucasian friend, and then when I start going and I start cooking, we got to take a commercial.
Well,
but it's fine. I mean, but with that said, no, the theory is you get unemployment was I do believe $600. Don't quote me on this. I had no prepping of this. And then you throw in the federal, which is $300, which is $900. So, most people weren't making $900, I do believe, a week, right? So it was easier to stay home and make more with the federal than it was to get a job. Well, let me ask you this. Do you believe in a capitalistic system?
Oh, absolutely.
Then you know why they're cutting the benefits.
No, I don't.
If you believe in a capitalistic
I believe
system,
that if you pay people, that you'll get the productivity that you need, and your profits and your earnings will be there.
That's why they're cutting it, so small businesses can pay people.
No. You can't do that, Brent. You can't keep a whole section of society down in order for us to try and be able to build an economy and good businesses.
Okay, you've lost me.
You can't do that. Now,
you had a group of people, like waiters and waitresses, because of the pandemic, just lost their jobs.
Right.
The federal government increased unemployment for these people.
Right.
And now we're coming out of a pandemic. So when would you cut the pandemic unemployment?
I wouldn't. What I would do is take a look at the suggestions that were made by President Biden. Let's raise the minimum wage to $15, $16, $17 an hour, and so that people don't have to stay home, so that they'll be able to pay their bills as long as they're operating under this pandemic. At some point in time, we got to raise the standard. We got to raise the bottom of society up, Brent, in order that everybody has a chance at a quality of life. Then they won't break in your house. They won't break in your car.
I'm not defending the. If you want to play the white devil here, it's going to cost me a lot more money than this.
I'm not calling you that, but I want you to share with me about your brothers in our great state of Mississippi.
I got one brother. He's a preacher in Nashville. Let me tell you how the world works over here in Greenville. Before we got to the grain embargo, which someone interrupted me, the reality is I've got family, well, I can count on one hand. I got friends, which I can count on the other hand. I got associates. And then I have a lot of acquaintances. 90% of the population I'd put down tomorrow and wouldn't miss a beat, because they're not evil. They're just there.
I don't want you to claim the entire white race.
Yeah. Basically, want that.
But I want you to enlighten us. But I want to see things through their eyes, and maybe you can help me do that. That's all.
So you're okay. Okay, let me ask you this. How much should I tax? By the way, we're on live, so you might want to put your phone on.
I do.
Lesson 4. Turn your phone on silent when you're on live or on video.
Absolutely.
How long would you keep it going? And then, who pays for it?
Look, what I would do is try and figure out a way to raise minimum wage up to where people rather work than stay at home, Brent. If somebody's staying at home, Brent, there's no self-esteem, there's no value there for that, Brent.
Is man naturally good or man naturally evil, in your opinion?
Oh, I don't know.
I
haven't thought about
you.
that.
Well, it's Hobbes versus, is it Calvin? It's a classic debate. Is man, in your opinion, how old are you, sir? 75?
Yeah, no, not quite, but I'm
74.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I hate to say it, except when you're hating white people, you're very intelligent, very accomplished. So in your experience of 74 years on this earth, is man basically good? Is man basically evil?
I think his environment has got a lot to do with that.
Okay, you're avoiding the question.
I think he comes in here with a blank slate, Brent. I don't think any baby is
I don't care how he comes in.
I
didn't ask that. Today, we go on the street. On average, you got to put people in two different categories. Good, bad. The majority of them are going to be which one?
Good.
Okay, so you locked your doors.
Good.
Feel free to turn that phone off
good,
so it's not
always
vibrating.
good and right prevails.
So you like your doors for the exceptions.
America corrects itself.
You like your doors for the exception.
That's why when we have bad decisions, when we elect the wrong people, Brent, 4 years later, we normally correct that because good prevails. There were some people that made some serious mistakes in our last election for our president under President Trump. All of my good friends and your good friends and my Caucasian brothers up in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin that went red when normally they had supported liberal candidates, but they went red then. But that 4 years later, Brent, good prevailed and they corrected themselves.
None of that had to do with Hillary Clinton being the worst candidate we've ever had. None of that having to do with the man who's in the White House today should have been the one running against Trump. None of that had to do with Barack Obama cutting a side deal with the Clintons so that Hillary could run. And none of that had to do with Hillary Clinton never winning anything on her own and she just being one of the worst candidates. None of that had anything to do with that.
Had very little to do with that.
So you think Hillary Clinton's likable?
Yes, I think she was a wonderful person. She and Bill both represented America very upstanding.
Did they cut a deal so Joe Biden couldn't have run against Trump 4 years ago?
I don't know whether they cut. I didn't read that, Brent. Did they call you and say they were cutting a deal?
So why didn't Biden run?
I don't know why he didn't.
Everybody knew Barack Obama cut a deal with Hillary Clinton's to get the nomination. Everybody knows that deal was cut. Hillary Clinton has not earned anything without Bill. True or false?
She's a very intelligent,
would you know her name?
Person.
Would you know?
She served New York City as a senator in an esteemed way. She was highly regarded. So yeah.
So
she's
whoa.
a stand-up person,
you're
man.
Saying
she got in a little trouble with the little email thing, but that's the only thing I've ever seen that she got accused of doing anything wrong. She stood by Bill. She stood by Bill during all of his crisis.
Now you don't even know about this, but this is why I'm here. Okay, this is why I'm here. Okay, and in courtroom, this is what we call over. Lesson number 5 today. Hillary Clinton was involved in a little scandal called Whitewater.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what property she bought? Or do you know who she brought this property from that led to the investigation of Whitewater in Flippin, Arkansas?
No, I don't.
He was a Greenvillian named Hillman Logan. Do you know how I know Hillman Logan?
How do you know Hillman
He was better known to me as Papaw.
Oh.
We were subpoenaed by the FBI because Hillary Clinton created Whitewater by using knowledge, and Papaw sold his fishing cabin, bought it from Hillary, and then sold it to her.
Are you telling me that your family almost brought the entire government down?
No. But my family knew the Clintons before they were the Clintons. And I'm telling you, Hillary Clinton from Chicago, she couldn't get elected in Illinois. Hillary Clinton, I don't care who you are, and I hate to say it, you're a smart man, Socrates. I said it for the 3rd time today. If you were first spouse or governor in any state, I would imagine that you've reached across the aisle to, as you call them, your white Caucasian brothers, that if you give me 8 years here, no matter my policies, they'll be like, look, man, he's one of the good ones. He took care of us in 8 years. Her and Bill cannot go back to Arkansas.
Wow.
Am I wrong?
Well, I don't know.
Am I wrong?
I don't know.
Seen them back?
No, I have not.
She ran for the United States Senate, not in our home state, not in Arkansas, her adopted home state where she was first lady. She ran in New York where a Democrat can win if you just throw a dead cat at it.
Wow. I don't know how we got over here on the Clintons all the way from unemployment.
Because you asked me because of Trump.
Yeah, because I was telling you how
Trump.
I was telling you how
people were voting against Hillary.
Okay.
But back to the situation. Yeah. What is a fair tax? They say the happiest country in the world right now, I do believe, is Finland or Norway or Sweden. One of the Scandinavians. 90% tax, and they're the happiest.
Why is that?
Because they have more social programs. Would you be okay paying 90% tax?
No.
Okay.
No, why? You believe in socialism?
You're the one asking why they're cutting government programs. I'm asking you here because this is the conversation we have to have.
I don't believe in socialism. I said we ought to raise the minimum wage. I didn't say that your price for goods and services wasn't going to increase.
But what I'm saying is, we agree with the $1.9 trillion of the infrastructure, which I'm for. We agree that it has to be paid somehow, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Out of $1, what would you want to pay for everybody? Because I don't believe I understand if you're a billionaire.
I think flat tax rate ought to be standard 10%, something like that.
You can't pay for half the social programs with 10% tax rate.
Well, I don't know. Then if people got up and our economy moved up and our gross national product improved, maybe we could pay for it.
So, but you just
maybe we quit spending money all over in Israel and Afghanistan and now in Iraq. And when Colin Powell told you if you go in there, you're going to earn it. But you and Bush, not you and Bush, but my good president.
Oh no, you mean Bush? We're both white.
I'm sorry.
We grew up together in Austin.
I'm sorry.
I went to Yale with W.
I apologize for that.
Man, you like getting white people. How did I get on this show?
Man, my granddaddy.
I'm surprised you ain't brought out a white robe for me to put on.
No, man, I have nothing against white people. My grandfather was white. I ain't got no problem with that, Brent. I got a problem with what he did. So you on my side?
Let me ask you if your grandfather.
I'm not on your side.
Why aren't you on my side? We were brothers 3 minutes ago.
We're still brothers, Brent, but I'm trying to explain to you that I don't have any negative feelings about white people.
Minority contracts in Jackson since we're brothers?
No, because
technically I'm the minority.
You haven't survived 400 years of slavery and being kept out in an unlevel playing field. Why would you need a minority contract?
Did grandfather,
you get everything now anyway.
Did grandfather have that oppression?
Yeah, but he didn't come from me.
What was grandfather's name? Was he Billy Joe? Or was he like William Harding the Third?
No, he was William Eugene.
Oh, William Eugene. Was he the third or was he the fourth? I bet he was the fourth.
Goddamn, I'm sorry. He was a traveling salesperson. He kept moving, man. White folk didn't hang around. They came in our communities, they had their way, and they moved on.
I think what you're looking for is we. I mean, come on now. If the white blood's in you, I think the word you're looking for is we here.
No.
I'm claiming you for our side.
Yeah.
Cedric, I'm claiming Socrates for the white people.
But let's get back to the unemployment tax. Tell me how.
Have you voted Republican?
No.
When's the last time you voted Republican?
Let me back up.
Okay.
Let me back up on that. I did vote for Republican once.
Because you got some which one?
You like all that?
Hey, I mean, show it up. Show the oppressed. The Rolex, the oyster Rolex he's wearing. I want to apologize for the white man oppressing you until you have to get a Rolex. I apologize.
The white man didn't depress me and oppress me.
Okay.
That didn't happen.
I know that didn't happen.
My family, we didn't take commodity when they came along with the cheese. We didn't want that.
Okay, we're going all the way around. If your family didn't take that, you're one of the most successful businessmen I met. I hate to say it. Don't come up to watch now. Don't get embarrassed. You weren't there, Johnny Carson. Why should these people get a federal unemployment? Why should they be?
Because we're in a society where the pandemic shut down all of their places where they were normally working.
When would you go back to normal? Financially, when would you go back to normal?
Well, I don't think we're going to ever get back to normal.
Are we late for a break?
No, we're right on schedule. It's coming up very shortly.
Okay, I'm just making sure. I don't want to get you distracted.
I'm going to pay the bills. I'm going to pay the bills because, that's the only way we keep the lights on.
Technically, I think our taxpayers are paying. I mean, I think my taxes are paying your bill.
Well,
technically.
You've been a good supporter.
I've been a good supporter.
No question about that. And I really appreciate that. And I want to say this to you right before we go to break, that your involvement and your encouragement and your sharing and your sponsorship and your financial support for this show in the very beginning was critically important. Love you for it. Let's get ready to go to a break. Stay tuned.
Have you had your Earthblend coffee today? At Earthblend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection. giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earth Blend Coffee.
To order, visit earthblendcoffee.co now.
Welcome back. Brent, we're going to shift gears a little bit. And we're going to come back to the things that we were talking about when I interrupted you, because I didn't bring you here to interrupt you. I definitely want to get all of your thoughts out. So
I think you brought me here for a punching bag.
No,
but
no,
that's
no,
fine.
no, no,
I can play. I can play. I just need to know the role I'm playing and
hardball.
the check.
You play
the
hardball.
check didn't clear. I mean, if you want me to be Rush Limbaugh, if the check clears.
No, we're gonna find Rush Limbaugh one day, and the three of us gonna have a great conversation. I hope we do that one day.
I'm not gonna burn in hell, but that's okay. If you're going to be there, I'm
not going to be there.
Why, that's where Rush is.
Well, I don't know where he is.
Well, I can dare. Well,
okay, you're probably right
when
about
you
that.
say everybody who does drugs or drug dealers need to be or people who have drug issues need to be executed, and you're smuggling drugs in the airplane.
Wow.
Hypocrisy.
It's so hard in Mississippi, Brent.
Okay.
It's hard. You know, just last Saturday, they closed the dialysis center at the Veterans Hospital.
Okay.
Now, veterans can't get their treatments that they need in Jackson to stay alive.
Well, the fact is
why would we do that, Brent? Why would we?
Am I going to get a good question?
Why would we Mississippians do that?
Well, I'll ask you why.
I have no earthly idea.
Well, you're a veteran, right?
I am.
Do you feel in
this country well?
And I thank you for your service. Do you think we should have a national draft in 2021?
No.
Why not?
No, because I don't think we even need a military anymore. The last time I saw these drones and everything that was flying all across the world, we didn't need soldiers.
So China doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, but
they're not there anymore.
We're not going to fight them on the ground.
So someone just didn't commit a cyber attack on the oil pipeline.
The military doesn't defend against cyber attacks. Well, when I was in basic training, I had an M1, I had an M16,
you
I had a
just found
bayonet.
out about Google, and the world changes. They're one of our number one defenses.
They're taking our soldiers through cyber training now?
Yeah, some of them are.
Oh, really?
Yes, Google's an amazing thing.
So then what you got to do now? You got to have a college degree to get in the army?
No, but what I'm saying is, let me ask you sincerely, this WWE thing, wrestling, it's fun, but let's have a serious conversation. Do you feel our society has been hurt by the lack of a national draft? Do you feel that more kids are staying on street corners and in talks? You just said if we all lift it up, and what we're talking about, no one wants to say this, socialism, one of the biggest socialist programs of all time, is the military. It's government. And it employs people, it trains people, it gets them out of bad situations. Do we need it? With all the crime rising in Dallas and Chicago, would those young, angry, and let me go ahead, and since we're using race, black men be better off getting drafted at 18 and getting out of those toxic environments and being taught a skill set, let them see the world like you? How much success? Break me down your success. What percentage you get family?
What percentage is my family?
What percentage, where do you get your success from? What percentage is how you were raised in your family?
Well, I think it's got a lot to do with DNA, and I think it's got a lot to do
that's genetics. I'm not saying genetics.
I think it's got a lot to do with the environment, where you get your success from, and where you get your coaching.
I want some percentages. Genetics. What percentage?
40.
Okay.
Real high.
No. See, I would completely disagree with that, but I'm adopted. What percentage of
can you get DNA if you're adopted? Because the environment plays a tremendous part as well.
Well, see, I mean, obviously I have genes. I'm existing here today.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that I'm Raymond and Barbara's child. And they're the reasons. I'll give my family 90%. But I was going to say, what percentage of military had an effect on you being successful?
Well, first of all, I had a college degree when I was drafted. I had graduated from Alcorn State University and was working in Los Angeles, California, when Uncle Sam interrupted my life, knocked on my door, drafted me, and drugged me off.
There's some anger there.
And drugged me off.
Is there some anger there?
Oh, no.
It sounds like there's some anger there.
No, I'm just trying to get you to understand that my path for success had already been set.
Okay.
You know, the Army didn't save me, didn't come in, and didn't do that for me.
Okay. Okay.
You know,
did you see that in the Army? Did you see people?
I know that the Army played a tremendous role in giving people a way out of their situation. And black men and black boys, as you said earlier, had a way out in the Army, and it was a benefit to them.
Should we
but
not
I think we can do that with other programs, even if we don't have the national draft.
Okay, what other programs would they? I mean, bottom line is, if you're not trained, whether it's at home, school, if you're not trained that hard work is the ultimate reward, and it truly is, in my opinion. While I grew up with money, there's no doubt about that. We worked constantly, and we were told. There were so many stories where my dad would say, I would say something like, "You gonna get that?" And I'm like, "This is a classic story." My grandmother owned an antique store. And she was like, "Hey, boy," my dad would come in and say, "Get some of your thug friends and go help Socrates Garrett move. He just bought something from your grandmother." And I'd be like, "Socrates Garrett has sons." And my dad would wheel real quick and say, "Did I ask you for the family history of the Garretts? Or are you going to eat tonight?" And I was like, we'd get up, we'd go move, because Father said so.
That's right.
Now, I used to think my dad was the meanest man in the world, but then I grew up and realized he was just right.
Wow.
And what I'm saying, when you don't have
you
that...
You grew up and realized you were just like him?
Well, no, but I know. But my dad would already swung with your little friendly comments already. But with all that established, when you don't have that structure... And more importantly, when you don't realize there's more in this street corner, and there's more, you want to know why Mississippi's backwards?
Yes.
Because we're the biggest small town in the history of the world. Because we don't dream. And like I said, you're racist, but you brought us a studio. You should have people lined up trying to take advantage of this studio.
Yes.
And the fact that they're not.
Well, you don't know they're not. I haven't looked at the schedule for this week. So, I'll have to get with Cedric, my producer, to see exactly what that looks like.
You can't pick a side when I'm trying to pay you a compliment.
Go ahead.
But what I'm saying is the fact that they're not, it's not ultimately hurting anybody but them.
I hear what you're saying. But I do want you to understand that success begets success.
Correct. Okay. But what I'm saying is, would you agree that at some point the hungry dog eats?
Yeah, at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, unless people are dreaming, unless people want to go vote when they don't have water and they have the highest murder rate in the history of Jackson,
wow.
And you only get 20,000 people to vote out of 178,000, unless you get angry, unless you're going to say, I'm going to be better than that, they're going to remember my name, I'm going to live a good life, you can't teach that.
Are you now saying that black people don't vote?
I'm saying the state of Mississippi didn't. I'm saying the city of Jackson voted. 20,000 voted out of 178,000 in Democratic primary.
Jackson is 85% black.
Are you questioning those numbers?
No.
Do you have a different numbers than I have?
No, I don't.
Was there a black vote I missed?
No. I just want to make sure you're clear that I'm understanding what you're saying.
20,000 people out of 176 when there was no water and a record crime turned out to vote for mayor, yes or no?
That's correct.
So how would you interpret that? And 85% of those were black, but I'm going to tell you right now, my problem with black people is the same problem as with white people. 90% of them, I put them in the ground. Not because they're black, because they're so white. Because they don't respect family. Because they don't stand up for themselves. Because when they give me my word, but like I said, I could eliminate every black person in the world, and I know this is going to hurt you. I still hate 90% of the white people.
Wow.
I still have 90% of the white people.
It just sounds like you just don't get along with anybody.
No, but what I'm saying is there's 10% of this world we're fighting for, and I love them every day. There's 10% of this world we're fighting for. There's somebody I don't want to say. She at 60 years old decided she was going to, you know what, I don't want to say her name, but she decided she's going to work remotely. And I called her up because I was going to donate a copier to a specific church because they won't let me out of the contract, and I didn't want to sue them, so I was just going to donate it to a church. she decided she was going to go
You
D.C.
want to get a tax write-off.
Ain't no doubt.
Yeah, okay.
I'm not stupid.
Okay.
Besides coming on this show.
Because you could have donated it. You could have just given it to us over here at the studio.
I didn't offer it to you earlier today.
Well, you did, but I didn't.
Oh, wow.
I don't know whether you were giving it to us or not. I think you asked me if we wanted a copy or needed a copy.
Yeah, I'm not giving away a fish. I'm teaching you how to fish, big man. Okay. I thought someone said he was a capitalist over here.
I am.
Capitalist, we're putting the jewelry on, but not when it's coming this way. Uncle Billy Joe, Grandpapa Billy Joe.
I don't know how we got away from this dialysis
You keep on
crisis.
attacking me.
And so we got away from that, and I want you to
The military. Look, it's disgraceful how we are hypocrites.
Yes, we are.
We talk about national anthems and we talk about this, and we don't take care of the people who sacrifice their lives for our freedom. That's disgusting.
Just like we don't accept Medicaid and we cut the unemployment benefits on our first responders in Mississippi. We're only one of about 12 states that did that.
Why are you yelling at me about that? I wasn't involved in that.
I want you to
Who
speak.
are you looking at?
I want you to speak up.
On behalf of the white Republicans, because we know each other.
Half of Mississippi is what we got to do differently, Brent.
Because we've got to get angry.
Yes, we do.
The 20% or whatever percentage. Oh, let me ask you this. Okay, what percentage of black Mississippians are at fault for the marijuana vote getting overturned by a conservative vote when Latrice Westbrook, African American, lost a district drawn for the African American voter, and she got beat by Justice Griffiths, someone in Rankin County. And for you, I don't know if you know this, that district's Jackson, the Delta. There's no way a white Republican should win that district. He won it because the black people didn't get out and vote. What percentage of fault do you put on that?
Complacency and the lack of hope has caused our people to not go to the polls. High poverty, high crime, and just helplessness has set in, and black folk are not voting. They don't.
They vote in Atlanta.
They don't.
They voted in Georgia.
Well, I tell you, this young girl, Stacey Abrams, did a magnificent job. By the way, you know she's from Tougaloo, went to Mississippi.
I'm just wondering, was the oppression different in Atlanta and Georgia than Mississippi?
They had a different kind of leadership there that motivated and gave people hope. Nobody's giving anybody any hope over here.
So we don't have good African-American leaders. Is that what you're saying?
We don't have charismatic African-American leaders that are speaking up. That's why you didn't have any better candidates that were running for mayor against our current incumbent mayor, because our people won't step up and offer themselves up.
Is it possible that the haves are using the racial divide? And let's be honest. Black and white was a creation about 1600. Would you agree with me on that?
No, explain.
Because before people came to America, before the intermingling of races, if you were born in Europe, you didn't see a black man because it's just you weren't traveling. If you were born in Africa, you didn't see a white man because people weren't traveling. If you were born in China, you didn't see either because people weren't traveling. You saw people like you, right? Well, can we agree with that?
Okay, go ahead.
Because in Europe, white people, Germans hated English, English hated the French, Spanish hated everybody, right? So you're sitting there, and these divisions of white and black are created around 1600 when the boat started traveling and the slave trade. But what we need to realize is those are just our definitions. They're not really anything based on genetics. They're not really anything based on... But if you eliminated them, you would still have divisions because you see, your redneck might know something. I heard something about what's a paper bag, brown paper bag test.
I have no idea. Brown paper bag test.
You've never heard of the brown paper?
No.
Cedric, am I making this up? Have you heard of this?
No, explain it to me. What is it?
I grew up in L.A.
I was told by some African Americans that they used to put a brown paper bag out to judge whether you were too light or too dark.
Oh, wow.
You've never heard. This is in the black community. This is not the white people.
No. You have to go all the way back to Willie Lynch, the letter that white folk told their slave masters how to keep black folk down and suppress all of their lives by turning them against one another, the black one against the light one and the tall one against the short one, and just keep them fighting amongst themselves. And y'all did a great job, because there's a lot of self-hate in the black community that's still there today that we can't seem to get rid of. So
when they voted in Atlanta and won over there, did they get rid of that hate over there, or was that just lucky?
No. That was a strategic plan by a brilliant person that worked.
That was just one person?
No, but you have to have a leader. Somebody has to carry the mantle and say, we're going this way. Hold on, Brent. We're getting ready to pay some bills. I want y'all to enjoy this commercial and support Earth Blend.
Have you had your Earth Blend coffee today? At Earth Blend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earth Blend Coffee.
To order, visit earthblendcoffee.co now.
Welcome back. This is Socrates, Garrett Live, and we're here coming to you from Jackson, Mississippi, deep, deep south. You know, in Mississippi, where the air is just a little bit cleaner, the grass is just a little bit greener, and the opportunity to live a quality of life is only diminished by a poor economy. We have everything else. We have the rivers, we have the watersheds, we have the greenery, we have forestry. There are only 3 million people in the entire state of Mississippi.
So besides no education and a high crime rate, we have everything else.
We're getting there.
Okay.
We're getting there. And so hold on, Brent. And so I want my listening audience and my viewers out there worldwide, consider Mississippi. We have a tremendous brain drain. We don't have a lot of people. You know, when I was in Chicago, I couldn't even turn around before I was bumping into somebody. I can drive for days and days and not see anyone in the great state of Mississippi. There's so much potential here. What we need is effective leadership. We need young, bright, articulate, intelligent, committed leadership that will come in and bring all of our citizens together, black and white, and make us work together across party lines and do something that raises the standard of living for our people. Number one thing we have to do in this state is eliminate poverty. We're the poorest state in the nation, and that's got to change. Brent, I'm enjoying our conversations with you, but
I'm glad somebody is.
I want you to continue to enlighten everybody that's viewing us tonight as to why we are where we are and what we need to do. Give us a path forward. You were mentioning Stacey Abrams and the job she did over in Atlanta. Who is going to do that for Mississippi?
Nobody. The problem is we have to do it. And what I'm saying is, right now, you're completely right. We're in a plantation state. One, because most of our business is agriculture. Two, because it's easy. It's tribal. We always go tribal. When you go to prison, you have to join a gang based on race just to survive. Black, white, green, yellow, you have to join it because you get to the basics, and humans go to the basic, we look alike. But to advance, to grow, we have to come together and say, white rednecks and poor black people could use some health care. Now, if you want to go tying it all back to medical marijuana, I don't know if some of that wasn't about they're about to put Medicaid expansion. The hospitals were about to put Medicaid expansion on the initiative. And that gets into $7-8 billion. But what happens is I was called by the hospitals because I appeared on some of these shows years ago, and they said, we need you to come out for Obamacare. I said, this was a major hospital. I said, you're a hospital. Why don't you come out? Well, we can't say Obamacare. And they wrote an op-ed piece in the Clarion Ledger. They didn't say Obamacare. Because we have to realize it's these conversations. It's sitting at the table. We can keep on saying, well, you're over here, it's your fault. We all are to blame for our current situation. The good Lord puts us here for a reason. And what we do today is what we need, is how we're going to be judged. But until we can have an honest conversation to recognize we're all sinners, and to say, this is what we need to do. I'm investing in this studio. I've given you, you've done 90%, and Cedric's done 90% of what y'all see here, and it's amazing. So, I mean, I've given some, I gave someone's phone number, and I've donated, but it's mostly you, and you need to have your credit for being 74, and I don't know how you did this and not know how Google works, but you did. But what I'm saying is, until we hold people accountable, and I'll say this, everybody wants to say, well, we need more civic centers, or we need something for the kids to do, of course, but it's a carrot and the stick. At some point, you have to say, we don't have enough resources for you, you killed that grandmother. At some point, we have to have a real conversation, because I didn't create hell. And we have to have a realistic conversation. I invest in the black community, not because I'm white, not because they've had 400 years of oppression, because it's the best investment for me, because no matter where I travel, I'm a redneck from Mississippi. Now, I'm a Democrat, I'm a lawyer, I've been in New York and D.C., but you are based where you're from. And I laugh about this all the time. Whether it's in Baltimore or Smith County, you ain't from around here. They say it in different ways, but they say it. When I was arguing in Baltimore one time, the judge was like, well, Mr. Hazzard, I'm going to move to strike that motion because you didn't do this. I said, Judge, that's erroneous here, 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 and here. When those attorneys for Microsoft walked in, they said, hey, Judge. They said, hey, Bill, hey, Fred. I was on the phone, and the court reporter, when I was through pointing out how many violations he made of the Constitution, the court reporter said on the phone, I can't understand a word he said. And that you ain't from around here. So what we need to do is have a realistic conversation, but I'm going to treat you like Raymond and Barbara treated me. And what people don't want to say in Jackson, Mississippi, I was on welfare through student loans. That's nothing but welfare. I put myself through law school through student loans. I thought I was working hard till you get off student loans. And then I thought I was working hard when I was an employee till I opened my own business. The reality is an ass whooping, getting off a government check with a structure is some of the best things we can do. But you've got to have capitalism with failure. Now, let me say this. This ain't a black-white issue, because Jeff Good, who owns Bravo, who's all about capitalism when you're talking about tort reform, was campaigning for the restaurant $78 billion pandemic aid. One problem with capitalism is we should be seeing a record amount of bankruptcies. Right? If we're truly capitalist, we should be seeing a record number of bankruptcies right now. We're hypocrites. Because people who are capitalists, capitalism works for me. But when Katrina hit Biloxi, a lot of Republicans are like, well, I need a bailout. A lot of Republican restaurateurs needed a bailout. No. Have a philosophy and live by it. If it's good enough for you, it's good enough for me. Now, how do we help? How do we change? We need to invest, but that investment also means it's not just the black, this is going to be hot. It's not the black lives who get killed by the white cops that matter. It's the 16-year-olds who set records for dying in Jackson that mattered. And we need to understand that we need to treat everybody like we want to be treated. But that also means that Raymond Hazzard drove to his house and whipped his boys when they needed to be whipped. You've got to have a carrot and a stick. We've got to invest in... Let me go ahead and say this. What y'all are doing right here, and I hate to say it because you're involved, is on level of anything in the nation. Y'all should be getting a grant right now, not because y'all are doing something technologically advanced. It's because y'all are dreaming. Y'all are stimulating thoughts. Y'all are stimulating people having these conversations. That's what Mississippi needs to invest in. But we also need to understand, hey, man, banishment needs to be brought back to Hinds County, and banishment needs to be brought back to Mississippi. Hey, man, we tried to send you to drug court. We tried to help you. We've done everything we can with you. We ain't going to lock you up. Just go. We'll pay for the Greyhound ticket. Get the hell out.
Where are you sending them?
Don't care. They can pick the spot. But we only have so many resources. And let me ask you this, Mr. Garrett. How many times before the state should give up on somebody?
Well, I tell you, first of all, we got to invest in some programs that will deal with the issues that are creating and stimulating
you're
crime.
so good at that, Garrett side. I'm asking right now, just okay, whatever hypothetical you want to put on this, I need an answer. How many failures before the state realizes there's only so much tax dollars you're going to let me take out your check, 10%? How many times, how many X's, not lock them up for life, get the hell out?
Yeah.
How many failures?
I don't have a number for that, Brent. I don't know because
you get someone 25 chances.
No. We can't have habitual offenders.
Okay.
We can't have that.
Is
but
it
I don't know what
5?
habitual is.
You've lived 74 years old. You're one of the smartest people I know. You know what habitual is. I don't have to tell you what that word is.
You know what the deal is. Your situation. A hungry man is going to eat. But, survival is the thing that God put in us that's most important. You must survive. And so if a guy doesn't have the ability to feed himself and his family, he's going to be led to committing crime.
But there's a different crime between burglary to feed your family and killing somebody's grandmother.
And we have to have the ability to separate those.
Okay.
We have, because what we've done is we filled our prisons and our jails up with people on this first-time marijuana charge with less than an ounce of marijuana and locked up everybody and put them all in jail, and that shouldn't be the case.
Jail's outdated. What you need to do is when you go to jail...
We got to look at this thing very carefully and strategically and make rules that apply to the population that we're dealing with.
You use such big word and abstract concepts to avoid issues. How did we punish bad parents in 2021?
We can't punish bad parents. How? What do you mean punish bad parents? Well, we can't.
Are there bad parents in 2021?
We can't raise the family. The breakdown of the family structure is probably the biggest problem that we have here today. And government got all involved in families' ability to correct this and raise its children.
So in 2021, you're saying you cannot be a bad parent. It's the system's fault. That's what you're saying.
You can be a bad parent, but government doesn't have a role in it.
Okay. So you saying they don't have a role?
We can't go in and say you're a bad parent. I think we're going to take you over like a failed school.
Okay, that's going on every day when DHS removes kids. Every day when there's neglect, DHS removes kids. So that's determinations being made by the government.
Well, DHS comes in when there is something that's going on inside of the family that's hurting the children. That doesn't mean that bad parents, all bad parents don't have issues with neglect of their children. That's a different animal.
Then what's your definition of a bad parent if it's not neglect and abuse?
You introduced the term bad parent. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
You could be saying that a bad parent is a parent that finds themselves on unemployment benefit or whether they own welfare.
What is your definition?
Because you think that welfare is bad, and so anybody who gets it as a recipient of it is bad.
We're going to call this the Garrett two-step because you can't answer a question. What is your definition of a bad parent, and when should we step in and punish?
See, we can't step in and punish. I don't have a time for that. What a bad parent is the inability to take care and provide for his family. That's a bad parent. If you're in a situation where you're not taking care of your own, you're not raising them, you're not providing for them, and you're not educating them, then you're a bad parent, in my opinion. But Government has no role in that.
Okay, let me ask you.
I mean, education is not mandated in our state constitution. You don't have to go to school.
You do you by law. You have to go by 16. It's in the code. But back to what you're saying. So
The Constitution, when written, did not guarantee an education to our citizens.
When the Constitution was written in Mississippi in 1890, everybody wasn't equal.
Well, nothing much has changed.
Well, I'm just saying. So you say we can't add to the Constitution? No. We can't go. But back to what you're saying. So if a parent abuses a child,
if a parent abuses a
child,
what
would you do?
That's a bad parent.
What would you do? Should we punish them?
No. Yes, we have to do that. We're going to have to punish anyone who abuses a child. We're going to have to remove the child and punish the parent.
Okay, so there's a situation where the government will lock up for bad parenting
because he committed a crime.
Well, that's what neglect is a crime.
No.
Child neglect is a crime from an ex-prosecutor.
What does neglect mean?
Well, I mean,
abuse and neglect are two different things.
But this is what I'm saying.
If you don't provide for me and pay for my college education, that's a neglect.
No, whoa.
Brent, we're going to have.
You just said if you don't pay for college education, you're neglectful.
Brent, we're going to have to bring you back to continue this conversation. This has been We Believe Digital. Join us next Tuesday. Have a good evening.
Socrates Garrett Live every Tuesday on WeBelieveDigital.com. Socrates talks politics, finances, and social issues that affect and so much more. Phenomenal guests and engaging conversation. Straight talk, no nonsense topics that are informative, educational, and inspiring. Socrates goes live with politicians, church leaders, business owners, and others. The time is now. Talking to you about us. Socrates Garrett Live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. on WeBelieveDigital.com.
Have you had your Earth Blend coffee today? At Earth Blend Coffee, we take pride in offering you the very best of beans across the world, blended and roasted to perfection, giving you superior quality and satisfying and flavorful taste. Experience the world in one cup with Earth Blend Coffee.
To order, visit earthblendcoffee.co now.